Welcome back a little early. The game has finally started. In the top left on year 0, it is the blue Protoss ShoWTimE. In the top right, as the red Protoss, it is Drogo. Drogo already guaranteed advancing to the finals. ShoWTimE basically out. He is out. Bottom 2 is confirmed. Rail and ShoWTimE unable to get enough wins to actually carry them through to the finals. And now the rest of the players are just fighting for seeding. Thank you, Wardy, for the 2-month resub. I was on break. Does anyone else think that CG should stop starting fires in mainstream chat? That's the only thing I ever do. It's what I'm good for. And if In Control thinks that anything else happened except for how Ravi said it, In Control is wrong. He tried to burn me. I slapped him down. Oh, speaking of slapping down things. Oh, God. That's awkward. So, Drogo saw the pylon. Now, is this the second pylon? It is indeed. So this could have just been maybe an adept warp-in spot for harassment later on. I mean, maybe it could have been used for, like, actual aggressive warp-ins, but I'm guessing it's more with the, you know, recent trend of just sending your second pylon somewhere else so that people panic, but you don't actually use it. As the second pylon placement is, you know, appearance, whatever you want to, you want to scout the second pylon in the main base. Otherwise, you might think it's a proxy Stargate or hell, even like proxy Rebel or something like that. So people have been doing it intentionally to kind of confuse their opponent, kind of like the barracks that's put off in your natural, your third base, so that the Protoss player goes, oh my god, no, and it's actually nothing. It is going to be a Stargate for ShoWTimE, but obviously not proxied. But as I said, he could use this to warp into depths later on, have them a little bit closer, even though they're slow warp-ins, still closer than getting them all the way across the map, and try and find Drogo not paying attention to that main wall, and getting that shield battery up in time. Drogo also goes for a Stargate. Note that none of these players went for the Sentry Soccer opener that gives you Hallucinated Phoenix to see if your opponent's going for a Stargate and what is going on in that Stargate. One for Adepts, which is going to try and get in to the main base. The other one for Stalkers, which can sometimes catch the Adepts and stop them. Drogo is on top of the shield battery. Looks like he's going to let the Adepts finish, though, and then just recall them out. Otherwise, they would have died to either the Adepts chasing them or the Stalkers finding them, or both. So I think that was the right call. And they both are going to go into Phoenix. So looks like the Stargate was scouted by the probe, I guess, that came back in, and then the Adepts did not get anywhere close enough to see the Stargate of Drogo. But luckily, both of them are going for Phoenix. So we might have ourselves a good old-fashioned Phoenix war, and I think this is one of the reasons that that Sentry Stalker combination even came into play. Yeah, if your Oracle gets shot down by a Phoenix, you are at a huge disadvantage, and you don't want that to happen. But also, you really do want to try and tell, like, for a fact that you're going into Phoenix Wars. And in most cases, you want to try to avoid Phoenix Wars. So this could have gone to more Phoenix for both sides, but it's actually ShoWTimE who makes another one. Okay, and then Drogo makes another one too, but Drogo's also going for a Twilight Council. And he can afford this, because I guess he didn't build 6 Adepts. ShoWTimE, I haven't gone for 6 Adepts. He's really looking for something to do with them, but is having a lot of problems actually finding it. He'd run into a bunch of ground units, plus the Phoenix would pick some up, so even if they got into the mineral line, they wouldn't do as much damage. We are going into, yes, okay. So, if he had stopped building Phoenix entirely, I would have said, okay, he's going to go in a blink, but he kept on adding one by one by one, even if it was like a little off, because he didn't quite have enough minerals or gas, but doesn't. Continues building Phoenix, and then adds on a Dark Templar. So you're so focused on building the Phoenix count, especially if you know for a fact that your opponent's also doing Phoenix, that you don't have room to even get an Oracle. With a second Stargate on the way, and if ShoWTimE knew there was a Twilight Council, which he did not see, then maybe he would take the time. He should take the time to build an Oracle. But he has no knowledge of this, and this little Phoenix Flower right here is going to do its best to stop that vision from giving away his secrets. So ShoWTimE, unless he was very convinced he had the higher number, and then also took the risk that the Phoenix wasn't literally about to pop out defensively, he's not going to take the fight. Unless he absolutely knew he was going to win it. He will win the Phoenix fight soon, but the DTs are going to probably do a ton of damage. Where they one-shot probes, so shield batteries don't really help, and there are no cannons. Now this is suspicious. A pylon over here, but I mean, it could be adepts. Is he paying attention to the shimmer? He's gonna hear the swipe. No, okay, good. Drogo didn't actually let them attack the adepts, which is nice, but he didn't see the shimmer. Oh no, no, and that might be game. GG. It's a risk. It's a little risky, but it does often. Well, I don't want to say often works, but it does work. That's too bad. Just completely not even thinking about the option for DTs. Just really focusing on the Phoenix War, so if he had any concern, if he was like, I wonder, he would have, I think, paid attention to the warp-in and been like, are they shimmers? And you can definitely notice the shimmers. Just, he didn't. I think ShoWTimE's already kind of, I mean, he is literally defeated. He's out of WCS Winter, but also, like, maybe mentally defeated. This is the last match of the European round robin on this stream. We'll be going into the NA round robin when the main stream is done as soon as possible. And that will be 4 series instead of 3. They reversed them. I guess because they wanted 7 series in a day without being too lopsided to one or the other. I don't know. In the bottom right, as the red Protoss for Makers, it is Drogo. In the top left, also for Team Makers, it is ShoWTimE. Very early probe scout. Drogo not bothering, wait until I guess Gateway to do so. Because you basically always probe scout in PvP. Or not scouting at all. Okay, yeah, this wasn't a probe scout. I thought it was a little bit early, but what do I know about PvP? So this is actually going to be aggressive. Sitting on the second pylon and then a gateway. Why not try and cheese your opponent out? You're not having the best day. You're already kind of screwed over for getting through this. So just throw something out. You know what? Yeah. I could have told just by like not having a gate. Well, he was already building the pylon. But anyways. No gas yet either. I mean, if Drogo was scouting, which he finally does after second gateway. Finally scouts. It's not going to be in time. There is currently a cannon rush with gateways on the way, and Drogo does not know about it. ShoWTimE confirms that everything is as normal for Drogo. Drogo now realizing, oh shit. And here goes the high ground pylon. Actually gave up an idea of another low ground pylon, which was weird. So you're not going to be able to get a complete surround here. Second probe comes in. It's a good thing to always bring. But even with like a partial surround, the pylon would eventually die. Drogo not going for any type of surround though, only pulled the 3 probes. Might regret that. That is Drogo's pylon to stop any more probes from coming in or getting out. Also stalls the zealots out even if it's only for a little bit. The DPS is maybe a little bit too good. The pylon's gonna go down without any cannons. Actually blocks the cannon of ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE needs the cannons to help out here. He is so far behind in tech. Doesn't have a set of an X4. The Adepts would be able to kite these Zealots, theoretically, all day long. And that is a ShoWTimE pylon being built, but I mean, what is a pylon going to do? Actually pulls the probes here, but Drogo has probes to lose. He's up by 3, and again, like, eventually he would just have a significant army difference. I guess Adepts, I mean, it's a lot harder to kite with Adepts than, like, Stalkers, but they are still projectiles versus not projectiles, so. We're still not done with the cannons, by the way, like, and all it takes is Drogo dealing with the Zealots and not remembering to pull probes to the cannons, and suddenly the cannons get up, and it's a bad time, so that's kind of what's happening here. He tries to get us around on these cannons. We're talking about 2 cannons, 3 cannons, as this is the pylon that's powering them. Are they going to be up with enough power, though? There are 4 Adepts shooting at them, as well as a ton of probes. We're down to 14, 12, back up to 13, down to 12 for Drogo. It doesn't matter. GG is called, and ShoWTimE taps out as he was going to run out of steam.